Okay, the previous lesson you have learned about types of immunity. There is two. One is active, one is passive immunity. If you have forgotten, let's go through back again, okay? Active immunity means own antibodies. Passive means outside sources. And then there is two types. Under active got natural and artificial. Natural means only after you fall into fever, you fall sick, you go through recovery, then your body will produce the antibody so that the second, third time you don't fall sick. Whereas artificial, you must be injected first by the vaccine. This vaccine will stimulate, will cause the antibodies to be produced. Passive means I'm getting the antibodies from outside. Natural passive means I'm getting it from the mother. Artificial means I'm getting it from other animals. I'm being injected by antibodies from outside sources. Okay, so this is what you have learned in the previous lesson. Now, if you notice in your textbook, there is a lot of graph. There's about 4 graphs. So I need to explain to you about the graph. This is important. Usually it's the PT3 questions about the graph. Okay. First graph, natural active immunity. Okay, what is natural active immunity? Active means you are producing your own antibodies. Natural means you only achieve this immunity. You only achieve this immunity after you have suffered from the disease. That means after recovery, only then your body will produce the antibodies. The first time you get the infection, you will go through the sickness. You'll face all the sickness. But the second, third, fourth, fifth time, though the virus, the pathogen enter into your body, you will not fall sick because there is already antibodies in your body. Okay. Again, what is immunity? It means your body can fight it before you fall sick, before you're being infected. Okay, you see this. After infection, the body produces antibodies and you get a lifelong immunity. What does this lifelong immunity means? Take for instance chickenpox. Usually people get chickenpox only one time. Okay, why only one time? It doesn't mean the virus never enter your body again and again. I'm very sure the virus would have entered your body the second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, but you didn't get it because after recovery, the first time you fall sick, and after the recovery, after the infection, your body already produced enough of antibodies so that the next time the virus enter, immediately it will fight and you will have a lifelong immunity. Okay, examples for natural active immunity are like, as I mentioned, chicken pox, measles, yellow fever, all this. Okay. Okay, now the graph. The graph is the part that is very confusing. Now, if you want to get a clearer picture, you see the graph in your textbook, but it's actually the same graph. I just draw it from there. Okay, this is time, the week of your recovery, the week of for a person to reach the immunity level. Whereas this is the concentration, the percentage of concentration of antibodies in your body. But what does concentration means? What does concentration means? In simple, concentration means the number of antibodies. In simple, it means the number of antibodies. Alright. Now, what does this means? Immunity level. Now, immunity level is the important part here. Why there is a line telling this line refers to immunity level? What is immunity? Immunity means ability of your body to resist the pathogen before being infected. In simple layman term, immunity level means, let's say I have antibodies. My concentration, my number of antibodies is more than this immunity level. More than the immunity level, the second, third, fourth, fifth time, even the virus, the bacteria enter the body, I will not fall sick because my body can resist the pathogen, can fight the pathogen before I be infected. Okay, that's called immunity level. So now what we want is any kind of sickness, we want the concentration of the antibody. We want the amount of antibody to be more than the immunity level. Because if it is more than the immunity level, what it means? It means you won't fall sick. As simple as that. You won't fall sick. Okay. Now, what does this graph tells you about? It means this is the first time I'm getting the infection. First time I get the infection, the body try to fight the infection, try to go through the first defense, try the second defense, try the third defense. But nevertheless, the amount of antibodies produced, did it exceed? Did it exceed the immunity level? No, it did not, right? So meaning I have not achieved my immunity level. See, it's a low level of antibodies. So it does not reach the immunity level, meaning I fall sick. I go through the chicken pox, I fall sick, I get the rashes, I get the pain, I get the fever, because my antibodies not enough. My antibodies are not enough. Now I go through recovery. Because you see all the antibodies decreases are all being used up. I go through recovery stage. But as I go through the recovery stage, my body already recognize, okay, I need these antibodies. So they will remember and they will keep producing daily. You must understand, in your body daily there's antibodies producing, like daily there's red blood cell, daily there's white blood cell, daily new cell, daily there's antibodies. So they remember, okay, the first time I get infection, it's actually chickenpox virus. Okay, this is the way to attack. This is the type of antibodies I must produce. This is the shape, everything. They already memorize already. And they already keep that detail. So now, the second time, this is for your second infection. This is actually your first infection. This is your second infection. The second time I'm getting a chickenpox, what happened is, the moment I get chickenpox, can you see the amount of antibodies produced in the blood is so much that it has exceed. The number of antibodies produced exceed the immunity level. The number of antibodies produced exceed the immunity level, meaning I already have a lot of antibodies. Before I even go through the infection, before I even fall sick, though the virus already entered my body, I got a lot of antibodies that it already fight all the virus, and I already achieve my immunity. And this is a lifelong immunity. I already achieved my immunity. So the next time, the third infection, fourth infection, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, 10, virus enter the body also, never mind. I got enough of antibody, it will fight for a lifelong. Okay? Can understand? That's called natural active immunity, meaning I produce my own antibody only for the second time onwards. The first time I have to fall sick, I have to go through recovery. Okay, that's natural active immunity. Okay, understand? Next, artificial active immunity. What is artificial active? Active again, so meaning I'm producing my own antibodies, but now it's artificial. Artificial means I'm being injected with a vaccine. What is a vaccine? Vaccine means it's containing a weak or a dead pathogen. I'm not going to put a very strong virus. Okay, I'm just putting a weak one. Why must I put a weak one? To stimulate, you must use this word, to stimulate the body to produce own antibodies, because pathogen is actually an antigen. What is antigen? It means foreign substance. So the moment there is a foreign substance invade, go inside my body, antibodies will produce, right? That's why I want to put something. I just want to like put a fire. The moment I put a matchstick, it just boom, there's a fire like that. So I just want to put some pathogen, a weak one, then I'll get the antibodies. Okay, example, for tuberculosis, you put what kind of vaccine? BCG. Okay, the graph, this again represent your time, the week of your recovery, whereas this one, the same thing, the concentration of antibodies in your blood, and it's in percentage. Again, if you don't know what does concentration means, it just means in simple, it's the number of antibodies. And again, what is an immunity level? I want to reach my immunity level. Meaning, if I already reach my immunity level, my body already have the ability, already have the resistance. So that the next time I get the virus, I get the bacteria, no need to worry, they will kill them. The antibodies will kill it before I fall sick. So I want to achieve the immunity level. Now the first time I put my injection, my first vaccine, I have antibodies produced, but the antibodies has been used up and it's not enough. Can you see it? The increase is only this much. Does it go above the immunity level? No. So over here it produces a very low concentration of antibodies, very less amount of antibodies. It's not enough. It has been used up. Now the second time I put an injection, let's say during babies, right, when for babies usually they try to put injection 3 months once, after that 6 months, after that 1 year, something like that, they will continuously give injection. Another example, when you go through secondary, you get an injection when you're form 1, and then you get an injection when you're form 3. Why must put form 3 later? Why do you need a second injection? Can you see this word? Can you see this word? Booster dose. That means they want to increase the amount of antibodies, because they know the first time I put is not enough, because I only put a weak pathogen. I don't want to put strong one, because if I put strong one, it's not enough antibody. You will fall sick and there's chances you may end up in hospital. You may end up in a bad situation. That's why I'm just trying to put weak ones. So when the first time I put not enough, the antibody produced not enough, but the second time I put the injection, what happened? My body already remember, and they produce so much of antibodies that it has exceeded. Can you see the concentration now is more than the immunity level? So exceeded the immunity. I get a lifelong immunity. I said, I repeat again, yeah. Artificial active immunity means, again, producing own antibodies because active. Artificial means I'm putting a vaccine, but I must put the vaccine twice. Why twice? The first time I put, not enough of antibody. They are being used up. The moment I put, immediately already used ready. So it's not enough. Never go above the immunity level. The second time I put, already go above immunity level, meaning it's a lifelong achievement. No need, after that, no need the injection anymore. Alright? Immunity level means the ability to resist the pathogen before you fall sick. Okay, you must first understand this term. If you don't understand this immunity level, all the 4 graph you cannot understand. So this one I've already explained in the previous video. If you don't understand immunity level, you have to go and watch back the previous video, then only you can understand. Alright, so can you understand this graph now better? Okay, now who is eligible for this vaccine? Is usually babies, usually children. Why babies and children? Because their immune system are very weak. So they do need this dose. They do need this booster dose. Alright? Okay. Why do you need to put the second time? Because the first time was not enough to boost up the amount of antibodies produced. Right? What is again a vaccine? It contains weak and dead pathogen. Why must I put this? So that to stimulate, to make my body to produce the antibodies, to prepare before the real time the virus enter, to prepare my body. Okay, now you give them to who? Sick children or healthy children? They are actually healthy. They are actually healthy. You don't do it when you fall sick. This is when healthy time, for healthy people. I just go and put my injection now before I really fall sick. I do it earlier. So what is this? When I'm doing it earlier, what do you call this? It's for prevention of disease, not to treat. There's a difference between prevention and treat. There's a difference, not the same. It's not for treat. It's to prevent. That's why I don't do it for sick people. I do it for healthy babies and children. Can you understand? Okay. That is for active immunity. Now, passive immunity. What does passive immunity means? Passive immunity means, passive means you're getting antibodies from the outside source. It's from the outside source. Okay, who's your outside source? Now this is natural passive immunity, meaning I'm obtaining the antibodies from my mother. When? It can be two stages. When during fetal stage, from the placenta, the antibodies will go through the blood. In the form of blood, it will pass through. Okay, the red blood cell will carry them, and or it's when the baby born, mother's milk, breastfeed milk, rich with antibodies. Right. If you notice, look at the graph. The moment the baby receives the antibodies, can you see, the moment it receives only, immediately it has already passed through the immunity level, already exceed the immunity level. Okay, exceed already immunity level. Okay, after that, if you notice, it decreases sharply. There's a decrease sharply. Why there's a decrease sharply? Why there's a decrease sharply? One, because the antibodies has been used up. The antibodies used up already. Because babies, they don't have a strong immune system, so they use all their antibodies. The baby body use all the antibodies, all right, to fight all the pathogen that they're entering. Second reason is because fetal stage, only 9 months only you're receiving the antibodies, and then after that, breastfed milk also, the maximum the baby is receiving the milk is maybe about 6 to 8 months, and then after, no, right, it's more to formula milk and everything, right? So there is no more antibody received. Understand? So that's the reason there's a decrease. Okay, I repeat back again. Passive immunity, you're receiving antibody from outside source. Natural means from the mother. There is two possibilities, either through fetal stage or through breastfed milk. Okay, if you notice the graph, what it's trying to tell you is the concentration of antibodies, it's more than the immunity level, more, because I'm receiving from the outside source, right? So it's a lot, but decrease sharply because, one, the antibodies are being used up as babies have a very weak immune system. Second reason why it's being used up, mother's milk is only about 6 to 8 months, then after, no more, right? So that's why you don't receive any more antibodies, it decreases. Okay, last one, artificial active immunity. Okay, for artificial active immunity, artificial passive immunity. Again, passive means I'm receiving outside source. Artificial means anti-serum is injected. What does anti-serum injected means? I'm getting antibodies from other animals. Why other animals? Why other sources? It means we don't have that kind of antibodies. When there's a snake bite or a scorpion bite, we don't have that kind of antibodies. That's why you notice people can easily die from this kind of disease. People can easily die because they don't have that kind of antibodies. They have to be rushed to the hospital. When they rush to the hospital, the doctor will inject with anti-serum. Inside the anti-serum got what? It contains antibodies. Where I get these antibodies? From other animals who have it. So usually we take it from the horse because horse are large. It produces a very large amount of blood, so a large amount of antibodies. Then they synthesize in the laboratory, and then they put it in a bottle and then they inject the anti-serum. Okay, now we go through the graph. Okay, if you look at the graph, what is the graph is explaining to you? Concentration of antibodies. This is the immunity level, meaning if I go more than this, I'm safe. All right, your time, your week. Okay, if you notice here, the first time I get an infection, I get injection, and can you see the rise in the antibody is immediate? Is immediate. Immediately the antibody rises. immediately the antibody rises. Why immediately the antibody rises? You must understand, I don't have the antibody. The doctor inject me with full amount of antibodies. So immediately rise, I destroy all the pathogens and the virus from all the snake bite, scorpion bite. I destroy them, and then the antibodies get used up. This means antibodies used up. Because I destroy all the pathogen, right? Used up already. Do I have these antibodies in my body anymore? No, I don't store them, because first I don't make them. Secondly, I already use them. Okay. Now the second time why you put injection is just trying to tell you, not you get injection twice, not like that. What the graph is trying to explain to you, let's say I get again the second time I get bitten by a snake. I have to be rushed to the hospital again. Though the first time I get cured, the second time again I have to be rushed to the hospital because I don't have the antibodies. I need to get back the same anti-serum. So the moment the doctor injected an anti-serum, my antibody rise immediately, treat, destroy all my pathogen, all the virus, my antibodies used up. Let's say the third time I get a snake bite, I need my third injection. Fourth time I need my fourth injection, fifth injection. So if you notice, passive immunity is mainly to treat, not to prevent. It's not to prevent, to treat immediately. Because if you notice, the antibodies are being used up very fast. They're being used up very fast. If you notice this one, sorry, the wrong paper. If you notice for this one, no, my antibodies already reached the immunity level, already reached more than the immunity level. But this one, my antibodies are being used up and it decreases. Okay, reason is because each time I get this kind of disease, I have to go and get my injection. They treat immediately, and this is given to healthy people or sick people. The sick, or you call it the infected people. Do I need to get injection when I didn't get any snake bite? I simply want to go and get injection, but I got no snake bite. Do I need any antibody? No need, because even if I take the antibody but I got no snake bite, I got no virus, the antibody will still die. It will not remain there forever, because there's lifespan for antibodies, same like white blood cell, red blood cell has lifespan. Usually white blood cell can only stay about 1 to 3 days. Antibodies are made up of white blood cells, so meaning roughly also about few days only it can stay, right? So it will be destroyed. Okay, so it's given for sick and infected people. Can you understand the difference between all the four graphs now? All these four graphs are very important. Okay, you need to learn the graph, go through again the video if you don't understand, or if you want to ask anything, just comment, then you can then I can discuss with you. Now the last part of the this chapter, once this is done, we are done with the chapter. Yeah, okay, the last part of the chapter, active immunity and passive immunity. What's the difference between active immunity and passive immunity? Again, active immunity means the main thing, it's my own antibodies. Passive immunity means not my own body, I'm getting it from outside source. Okay, what's the similarities? Both involve antibodies, regardless own or outside, both involve antibodies, and both is to fight the pathogens. That's the similarities. Now let's look at the differences. The purpose, this is to prevent disease, because they will achieve their lifelong immunity. So it's to prevent the disease. But this one is to treat the disease immediately. Okay. Now the people involved here is for healthy people. I'm just putting the injection, I'm just taking the vaccine. All this is just for prevention, so that the next time the virus enter, immediately my antibody will react and fight. This is for healthy people. This is for sick and infected people. Only when I get a snake bite, then I need the injection. If not, I no need. Okay, what is the substance being injected in the body? This is vaccine. This will be anti-serum. What is vaccine again? It's a weak or a dead pathogen. What is an anti-serum? It's actually antibodies. Okay, substance produced by the body. The moment I put vaccine, my body will produce the antibodies. But here will I? No, there is no any reaction. The body doesn't have that kind of antibody. I just take it from an outside source. Now the response, this is slow. It will take weeks or days, but this is immediate. If you notice, right? Can you see? The moment I inject, immediately the antibodies increases. Alright? Okay. Lasting effect. This is for long lasting and it's permanent. So that the next time I get the same virus enter, I won't fall sick. So it's a permanent. But this one is short and temporary. Meaning each time I get a snake bite, I got to go and get the injection. Alright? So these are the differences. Okay, so we are done with chapter 4. If you don't understand anything, please ask me. If I don't see any comment, I assume that you already understand completely the chapter. I'm not going to teach back this again in our school because we are lack of time for midterm. I'll just continue with the following chapter. Alright? Okay.